All right, welcome to my Epic Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can enjoy this content. But my favorite way, and the way that I recommend you follow, is the blog. And the blog is at myepicsbuddies.blogspot.com. And that has a lot to remember. So wherever you are engaging with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. Click on it, and the link is there to the blog. And it's a free blog, and you don't have to put your email in, and there's no ads. I don't sell anything. So you just go and boom, you're right there, you and the articles. And sometimes it takes me like 15 minutes, but I usually have the video right on the blog page also. So everything you need for today's episode, which is Tuesday, September 9th, but it'll be later. It'll post tomorrow. It's all right here in one spot. So I don't have anything fun today. Actually, there's not. There's there's news, but in other activities, actions, yeah, there was escalation. So I'll wait till tomorrow to see what the responses are, but they don't seem good. And so it is what it is. All right. So we'll get into it. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to RSS.com. Thank you, Spotify and YouTube and Twitter. Thank you, all you guys on Twitter. YouTube. Please continue to hit the thumbs up, because with this new algorithm, my views are down. But what can you do? I'm not out there screaming high rates and we're going tomorrow and all of that. But so really the thumbs up is helpful now. So thank you. All right. So that's that. Okay. So again, with everything going on, they are still moving forward with the banking. So unbanked and no more, how digital banks empower millions in Iraq. Now I will say I had an article and I don't know what I did with it. So I'm more organized today. But yeah, there's some government, it was something media, information and media or something like that. It's only in Kurdistan, but it said if you need to use our services, you have to have a bank card. So that's another way to get people who don't have if you don't have a bank card, you probably don't have a bank account, right? So it's another way to get the people to go to the bank and open an account, get scanned, get everything, get all their papers, and then they have a bank card, and then they can go do whatever action they do at that place. I don't know what it was. So they're really trying to get all these people on debit cards and accounts, right? So I have here unbanked no more, how digital banks empower millions in Iraq. Today, Iraq is witnessing the launch of a new era of banking services, shifting toward, so we're on the first article, shifting toward digital services in line with global trend toward digitization and the abandonment. That's a strong word, don't you think? Abandonment of traditional services. This sound approach is not just about smart apps and digital platforms, but rather represents the launch of an ambitious vision for a more comprehensive and efficient financial future. The traditional banking sector has always been the cornerstone of economies, but for years it has been confined by walls of branches and long bureaucratic wires, which has prevented it from reaching broad segments of society. Obtaining a bank account or a simple loan is an arduous journey, especially in remote areas. Now look at this. Okay, for those who are just listening, there's an ellipsis. Well, that's the three dots, right? Which usually means there's more to the conversation. So they've left out some words. And they do that sometimes, and it's so weird. Why do that? But it must have something to do with journalism. But anyway, so yeah. So the next thing is the importance of the real revolution of digital banks. The technology has matured, becoming more secure and safe than ever. Yeah, right. Before, thanks to advanced encryption and biometrics. Consumer confidence has matured, and consumers have learned how to manage their daily affairs through their smartphones. That's not good. Anyway, more importantly, the urgent need to popularize the concept of the financial citizen who has the right to save, invest, transfer, and finance with ease and transparency has matured. A digital bank, then, is not a luxury, but a strategic necessity. It is the bridge that will allow millions of the unbanked to cross into a world of economic opportunity that once seemed out of reach. It is the means by which the small shopkeeper, the woman working from home, the ambitious young man, and the elderly man in a remote village will be brought under the umbrella, sucked in, right, to the new digital. No, I'm just kidding. But it does say under the umbrella of the formal financial system. These are not just transactions, they are true empowerment. So there's more there, but I'm not going to read it all. I mean, it really is a good it's a good article that does talk about, look here, they talk about launch of e-wallets and a fundamental prerequisite. I think they even talk about the digital signatures now. So it's talking about how far they've come. But you see how they're targeting? So they have the major businesses. Now they have to go out to the remote areas and reach the people who probably don't have internet in their homes. Maybe if they have a cell phone, they have the internet on the cell phone and they're probably just fine with that, right? But yeah, so they're doing that. Okay, so now we'll get into what we wanted to hear today. Well, what I wanted to hear, I didn't. The Council of Ministers did meet, but let me tell you what they did. So the issue of internal revenue was referred to the State Council. So they didn't approve the July. They didn't approve the July salaries, and they're moving. So there's two levels of court. Here we go. If the issue of internal revenue is not resolved in the State Council or the Kurdistan Regional Government appeals the decision, it will then be sent to the Federal Supreme Court. So it looks to me like we have two court battles that will take place. So they don't want to hand over all of their income, the domestic income or the non-oil revenue. So that's the problem, and I believe because of that, they're holding up the salaries, which is not nice, right? It's not the citizens' fault. But at any rate, I think they'll move quickly because remember, they're under pressure from us. We have at least twice that I can glean from the articles, we've told them you need to get this issue resolved, right? All right, so the Kurdistan region and Iraq have not reached an agreement and the salaries are delayed. So that came out of that. So I'm not sure who files whatever with the State Council, but that's what's going to happen next. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes on that. All right, so let's see. PUK, that's part of the I forget what it stands for, but I know that's some group in Kurdistan. So those lawmakers stress urgency as Erbil-Baghdad Baghdad talks reach critical stage. Come on, they were already at a critical stage, right? So this actually came out before the meetings. We only have a few hours left to reach an agreement on the resumption of oil exports and transfer of non-oil revenues. Because remember, even Sadani was like, you need to get this resolved in 72 hours. And the 72 hours was a Tuesday the 9th, all right? So then here's another really detailed information on the disputes between Kurdistan region and Baghdad could be referred to the federal court. So see, even whoever wrote this article, they're going right to the federal court, right? But I guess they have protocol where they have to go to that state council and then the federal court. Okay, and here is the son Barzani. He spoke. He's saying there was no problem. There's no problem with the resumption of oil. Yeah, I think there is, because it's not starting. And then he gave remarks on Kurdistan's salaries and oil. And he says they've been trying to resume oil exports for more than 2 years. The agreement has not been implemented. So we're still going on that. But I don't know who he's talking to here. Maybe this 7 days, maybe someone from 7 days interviewed him. I don't know. All right, and here's one more. We are close to a final understanding. Let's see here. He says, we hope to reach solutions to the outstanding issues as soon as possible. But we always face new obstacles from the federal government. So he's putting it back on them, and of course they'll put it back on the Kurds. Okay, and look, they even call this non-oil revenues have been a major bone of contention between Baghdad and Erbil. So yeah. All right, let's see. So tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, the Parliamentary Finance Committee confirmed Tuesday that it had discussed Iraq's revenue and salaries with the government officials. Okay, so this meeting took place today, but tomorrow, Wednesday, is the day they're going to interview the Minister of Planning, Aliyah Locke. And I thought, yeah, and Miss Sammy, she'll be there too. So this is the Parliamentary Finance Committee, not Parliament, but all of these people that are on this committee, they are in Parliament. So we'll see. They'll probably meet, but I don't know if they'll put the details out. But if they do, I will update you with the details. But also, it's not going to change anything because they still have to go, unless they're gonna say, hey, we understand you're still going through the court with the oil, but let's pay the people, at least pay the people, right? So maybe, but see, I think for them to pay the people, Kurdistan has to send a certain amount of dinars to Baghdad. So you're in is it a catch-22? Is that a catch-22? Or cart before the horse? One of those things fit there, right? All right, now this, I was gonna just pass this up, but then I read it again. Okay, here's the title. Economist. The financial management law allows for the adoption of 2025 expenditure data and the preparation for the 2026 budget. So I'm thinking they've done something with the 2025 budget. They haven't sent it to Parliament, but there's going to be another article, I believe, here where it's also going to say something about the 2025 budget. So yeah, so I was glad that I went back and read it. talks about now they're on this 1/12. They take 1/12 of the previous budget, and that's what they spend for the month, because 2025 technically doesn't have a budget, right? Because they never voted it through, and it hasn't been in the Gazette. So now Aliyah Locke had two meetings, well, two that they shared with us, right? The governor of Najaf discusses cooperation between the local government and the central bank. So Najaf is Sadar, he lives there. He doesn't have a palace, but he has I forget what they call his house. And it's connected to a shrine, a smaller shrine. Oh, well, it's not gonna come to me, but whatever. So yeah, he's got a nice big property, and his his city just got an upgraded electricity grid and some new buildings. So yeah, I you probably don't remember, but the time that he sat down out of the elections, right after that, it was voted that he would get a new electrical grid and some new buildings and something else for his city. So I doubt he's going to come back. There's still, scuttlebutt that he might come back, but I think he was bought out. I think Sadani was like, here, you're going to get this stuff you want, but you stay your butt out of politics. And he hasn't. He hasn't been in. He's very vocal about religious things, and when certain things get kablooey, he comes out and talks about that. But he has not gone political yet. Anyway, so they met to discuss ways of cooperating between local government and the central bank, which would positively reflect on the reality of the province and its people. So he wants digital systems, support for small, medium enterprises. He wants some more money, is basically what he wants. And then this guy is the Indian ambassador. So the Iraqi, he's Indian, but he's in Iraq because he's the Indian ambassador. They met, which I thought was interesting. And what they talked about was prospects for professional cooperation. So yeah, they're going to get trained, right? All the training that the Indians get from us and someone else. There's another, I think Japan. Japan trains a lot of Indians, I think. But there is another nation that teaches the engineers. So yeah, so they want that. Buildings, exchange of technical expertise, development of infrastructure, supporting modern payment services, and strengthening security controls and risk governance in accordance with international best practices. So I think that's good if they can get that together. Okay, here is a member of parliament, Zuhar Fatlawi. The government is using oil prices and its dispute with the region as an excuse to cover up its financial problems. So he might be right. So what he's saying is Baghdad is delaying cooperating with Kurdistan with these issues, right? To cover up the shortage of liquidity. Yeah, lack of available funds. And he might be right, because all this time they kept saying, we don't have a crisis. There's no crisis. And then now they're like, oh yeah, well, to alleviate the crisis, we have to do this, right? So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So if you want to read that, that's there. Here is another member of parliament. They have filed a lawsuit against the government and the Ministry of Finance for delaying the budget schedules. But, what good is that going to do? It's not the first time it's happened. But they're trying to push them. They're trying to push action because they're almost done when it gets to October, I think it's 30 days before the elections, they disband Parliament. Yeah, so, all right, so here's member of the Dutch trade delegation. So remember I was trying to find them? I think that was for you guys. But, so here he is. And he says there are many facilities for investment companies in Kurdistan. So yet again, there's more talk about business coming to Kurdistan, not Iraq, not Baghdad. So here is Baghdad and Washington agree to avoid conflict and affirm that economic partnership builds a strong government. So this is the new guy. This is Joshua Harris, and he met with the House Speaker, who is considered one of the presidents of the country. And there's Joshua Harris. So they met. All right. And they, talked about U.S. investment, U.S. Iraq partnership represents a strategic opportunity to build a new chapter, blah, 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 right? Same old thing. Good, all good and positive. Now here's Mohammed Saleh. He's talking about there's positive indicators that their GDP could be 5.3% at the end of 2025. But that would require radical reforms, right? Which the government program is working on with determination and a coherent approach. So if you want to read that, there it is. I'll scroll up. Oh, look at all that blank space. Okay, here's my one commercial, and it's we're almost done, you guys. I couldn't find the okay, and look, you see how there's green here? I'm just explaining my wonderful technical skills. I don't know why this is green. This is not supposed to be green. So I don't know what I did. But anyway, so then it was throwing off the alignment. So I had to move it way down. So usually my commercial for if you'd like to support my FX Bunnies, I usually try to put it in the middle. So yeah, this time I think there's just a few more articles left. But yeah, so this will be a live blog. So buy me a coffee will be a live link. Cash App is always live, and my handle is $Tish Wash, and PayPal is the same. Big or small, I appreciate it all, and I thank you in advance for your generosity. Ding! All right. So here, this happened this morning, and this is what I was saying was not good, and we'll have to see the aftermath. It already started coming out, but 24 hours, actually 48 hours is the best. But this is not good. Ice Cream Land wanted to take out some people, which, I guess they would say are bad guys, but, So, in Doha, which is a very well developed city, like any other city, and yeah, they did that. Oh, I wonder why it's late. So, yeah, and I'm sure you probably saw that on the news, but this might be one little detail they didn't talk about. So what they did was they told these guys, hey, we're going to have a peace meeting. Come to this place, right? Come to this place at this time. And we're going to talk about peace. Yeah. And they were torn into pieces. So it's not good. So of course we're involved, right? Because even if we're not, the uh, the other countries that are not friendly with Ice Cream Land will say we had a hand in it. And we kind of did because they had to go over Iraq's airspace. So Iraq is upset about that. We even gave Qatar a heads up this was going to happen. So they can't say it was spontaneous, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So now, look at this. This is even worse. I hope it's just talk, talk, talk. But it says, when you go bowling and you knock down all the pins at one time, that is called a yes. Or when you're a batter in baseball and you miss the ball 3 times, you, yeah. So that word there is imminent. This is, Iraq is on Tel Aviv's list of targets. So, yep, you heard me. I will say it again. Iraq is on Tel Aviv's list of targets, and I don't mean the store. So, that's escalation. Hopefully, we can get it de escalated. And I just feel okay, yeah, so that's the last article. Sadani had such a good day yesterday with NATO, right? And then before that, he had such good times with Oman. And then this happens, and it has nothing to do with him. He has come out and condemned it. Yeah, so we'll see. But you could also, look in regular news and see what's happening around the world with that. And then there's escalation in the other conflict that's ongoing. So look into that. The only reason why I look at that is because Iraq looks at that. They report on that in their news. But I didn't want to talk about it. I'm already risking it talking about that one. But Poland and Romania they have escalated their security. Yeah. So look into that. I don't know if that affects what we're waiting for, but somehow I kind of think it does. So yeah, so we ended, but like I said, there's no steps backwards other than that the incident in Doha, which maybe is a step backwards, maybe it isn't. So we'll find out. We'll find out as the week goes on. And they're still doing their things with the banking, trying to get the citizens to use banks, still doing their citizen education. All of that is good. All right. So this will be the update for today. I want to thank you. And if you missed yesterday's, hang out for a minute and another little box is going to come up and you can click on that box and watch yesterday's. Again, thanks for the thumbs up or the like button. That helps and it's free. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon. Oh, no. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Right? Okay, now, thank you and enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time, which will probably be tomorrow.